it also comes with a MIDI player, which is pretty simple. It's called Play Midi, or at least that's what the executable's called, and it allows you to play MIDI files, which is really surprising with a name like Play Midi, isn't it? I mean, you'd never have thought it'd do something like that, especially on a card that was the first wavetable synthesizer on it. You know, it's never going to have a MIDI player called Play Midi, but never mind. So let's play one. We shall start with this one. And as you can see, it plays MIDI and here, I assume, because I have it linked up directly to the back of the card, it is playing that MIDI fine. Let's try another one. Something a little more sinister this time. Obviously its polyphony is not quite as wide as many of the later cards, like what came from Creative and stuff, but I think it's wider than the Ad-Lib and Sound Blaster cards that were around, and it's probably about the same, if not a little better than the Sound Canvas, which came later, but that was just a dedicated synth, and cost more than the Ultrasound, so this card, you know, has that redeeming factor. It doesn't sound as good as the Sound Canvas, but it costs less and actually did sounds as well. And all the patches are in pat files, which you can replace and put your own patches on. Like people burping is always fun to do. Unfortunately, very few games were made to take advantage of the Gravis Ultrasound, although quite a lot of them started to support it. Along with, you've probably heard of a Gravis gamepad at least, because a lot of games really wanted to support that thing back in the day. So these support the sound card as well. One game that does this, although I don't know if it supports the gamepad because I've never even looked, but I know it does support the sound card, and that is Duke Nukem 3D, which is one of my favourite games. In fact, Duke Nukem, most of his games are just awesome anyway, because they've got Duke Nukem in. That's always a good thing. I'm gonna kick some ass on the Gravis Ultrasound. Yeah, and load time leaves something to be desired. It has to load the pat files, and I should have loaded Ultra Mid first, which is a TSR, but it will run without that. It just glitches. Good job I have God mode on, isn't it? But yes, as you can hear, it plays the music absolutely fantastically. I'm getting back to work on that music pack, by the way, if anybody from the Duke Nukem community happens to watch this, because obviously I've got the machine working now. Yeah, the Gravis is a bit fussy about which machines it'll run in for some reason. It's possibly just my card because it's a bit knackered. But even the way it's playing back PCM samples just sounds wider. It's hard to describe. It sounds like the stereo is wider apart, especially when you've got headphones on like I do right now, so that I can hear the audio's mixing properly from the microphone and everything. It sounds wider, like, listen. Yes, now you see on this game the music is in mod format, and because it's been done on the sound hardware, it's offloading that from the CPU and it's running nice and smooth, and it sounds fantastic. notice there's no delay like you might get on some of the creative cards sometimes, like earlier Sound Blasters. I know that Sound Blaster 16 in that 486 I have certainly does it. Oh yeah, we haven't looked at that machine. That was the one that had the Sound Blaster 16 in that I had the case off before. That one's actually kind of an interesting little machine. As you can hear, it sounds fantastic, music-wise. Even though the frequency doesn't go up as high as a creative card, it sounds like it's at a higher frequency. The card's just better in that respect, although there are design flaws with it, both software and hardware level. It just sounds, you know it's in stereo, basically. It's made of awesome. Except for that glitch, I wish that wouldn't happen. I think that's just a problem with my card specifically. Maybe I've set something up wrong. I think there's some caps going on the card. That'll be all it is. Right, so there's a chance you're wondering then, because most games at the time were designed exclusively for Sound Blaster and Ad-Lib hardware, which obviously the Gravis isn't, and therefore isn't natively compatible with them. They did come up with solutions, two solutions in fact, SBOS and Mega M. Mega M I never really used because it only emulates the Sound Blaster side of things, but it does that better. And it emulates like Roland cards and all kinds of other things as well, which is kind of good. But I've never really had an opportunity to play with that yet. But SBOS
installed.
I have played with, because this thing is brilliant, right? What we're going to do is we're going to fire up Keen 5, which is designed exclusively for Sound Blaster and Ad-Lib cards. And as you can see, we apparently have a Sound Blaster and Ad-Lib there, and they're allowed to use it for our sound. The only problem with SBOS is that it is quite memory heavy, and you will occasionally get an out of memory message. There's kind of ways of forcing it into high memory, but it still quite often causes you to run out on some of these older games, which is a real shame. Now how weird does that sound? And I'm not entirely sure how it works, whether it's emulating Ad-Lib hardware, or whether it's converting it to Midi on the fly, which is supposedly impossible. But I don't think it is impossible myself, because I've seen it done. It's just very difficult. So of course you're probably wondering, like, what's so awesome about this thing? It just sounds awesome. That's it. And if you're sad like me and like to collect old sound cards and stuff, then it's really worth it, because there's nothing else like it that I've ever come across. You can't emulate it, and I know you're going to turn around and go, well, DOSBox has an option to emulate. It doesn't actually emulate the card, nor does it emulate the experience of running it. I mean, listen to that. You can't emulate that, it can't be done. And, you know, that's... But they're hard to find and they're expensive, and a lot of them probably don't work properly anymore, which is a real shame. But it's a fantastic card, and, you know, that just about sums it up, really. I'm not really got words to say, other than it been good. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully I'll get better soon. I'm feeling a little better already, but I'm pretty sure that's just the medication causing that, opposed to me actually getting better, because it seems quite severe. Yeah, I might end up in hospital, but forget that, I'll be alright. I hope you've enjoyed my video. Might be the last one for a while, and who knows. I will be back probably pretty damn soon, I expect. You know, I'll probably stick on schedule of one video a week. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like the Gravis Ultrasound, and I hope you like that computer, because you will probably be seeing more of that if I can find a card, like the video card for it. You know, thank you and goodbye. I'm High Treason. See you later.